Good morning, everyone. Very warm welcome from our side. And today, it's an honor and privilege for us to present on a photon counting CT technology, which is considered to be a quantum leap when it comes to the imaging for stroke. And it's an honor for us to say that it will be available first time in Vietnam, soon at Stroke International Services. Yeah. So let's see how this technology is different from the current generation CT scanners and what's the clinical advantage when it comes to stroke imaging or advanced neuroimaging or cardiovascular, etc. Yeah. And before that, so this technology was approved by US FDA in 2021, but unlike other technologies where vendor goes and announce to the world, it was US FDA who made a press release saying that they approved a technology which is considered as the biggest innovation when it comes to the computer tomography. Yeah, and it got the best, it was covered in the top 10 health and medicine breakthroughs of 2021 also. The technology got the Best Radiology Device Award, Best IF Design Award, Red Dot Design Award as soon as it is available, yeah. So it's a great honor for us also to be associated with Stroke International Services to provide this high-end technology for the patient care in Vietnam, and it will be soon installed. So on this slide, these are the three examples of innovations in CT that elevated the role of computed tomography imaging. In 1990, when first spiral CT was introduced, first time it enables contrast enhanced study possible in computer tomography. In 1998, when first multi-slice CT was introduced, it enables cardiac imaging possible in computer tomography. Likewise, in 2005, when first time dual source CT was introduced, so dual sources, two tubes, two detectors in one gantry. It can be considered as two single source in one gantry. It potentially gives the benefit of avoiding beta blocker or medication for doing cardiac imaging. Yeah. Photon counting is considered to be as big as quantum leap, as I have shown you in terms of clinical imaging, like a multi-slice CT or this, and it has a potential of doing clinical studies or seeing the images which were unseen in the past. So let me quickly take you through what is the difference for a photon counting CT versus any other CT scanner which is currently available with other vendors, and what will Stroke International Services can offer in the future for the patient care in Vietnam. Yeah. So this is how a current generation CT scanner detector is. When the X-ray photons falls on the detector, it is a scintillating material, it converts into light, and then light is converted into signal. It's a two-step conversion. It is considered to be highly energy inefficient when it comes to the radiation dose, and the signal that you see is a combination of 30,000 of X-rays to one signal. Versus in a photon counting CT, which is a quantum leap in imaging, it's a single step conversion. When X-ray photons falls on this magical semiconductor material called cadmium telluride, it directly converts X-rays to signal. So in the conventional CT scanners, which are there from any other vendor or from Siemens, the signal that you see is combination of 30,000 versus in photon counting, every photon is contributing to every signal. So when it comes to the clinical imaging, this technology has tremendous benefits. And photon counting CT is a dual source CT. As I mentioned, dual source, we have two tubes, two detectors. In terms of cardiology, you can potentially avoid beta blockers for doing high heart rate scanning. Also, because of the faster scanning speed, the breath hold requirement for patient scanning is very less. Just to give you an example, for entire thorax can just be covered in 0.4 seconds of breath hold, which is not possible in any other CT scanner. Yeah. So photon counting CT is a FDA approved product, is available in few prestigious institutes across globe, as you can see here, mostly in United States and Europe. But soon it will be there in Vietnam also by none other than at SIS Stroke International Services for the patient care, yeah. So let me just take you what are the clinical advantages of this technology when it comes to neuroimaging, cardiovascular, yeah. One of the benefits is that it has a highest spatial resolution when it comes to cardiac imaging, neuroimaging. So above you see this is stapes, which is the smallest bone in the human body. And this is how the image which is acquired on a conventional CT scanner. It is blurry, not high spatial resolution. But when this image is acquired on a photon counting CT, you see the image quality difference and the clarity that it brought. On the bottom, this is cochlea. This image is acquired on a conventional energy integrating high-end CT scanner versus this image of cochlea, which is acquired on a photon counting CT. Yeah. In terms of reducing the radiation dose to the patient, X-ray radiation dose, this technology has tremendous benefits. Yeah, I'll show you an example. So this is an ultra-low dose sinus CT done on a photon counting CT, and here you see the effective radiation dose of the CT is 0.0063 millisievert. It is like if you are referring a patient for an ultra-low dose CT on a photon counting CT, it is like exposing ourselves to half day of background radiation. So we are no more comparing the radiation dose of computed tomography with X-ray modality, all that. So it has ultra low radiation dose capability available exclusively on a photon counting CT, which will be soon available at SIS. Yeah. And see, this is just the half day of background radiation. So in the past, this amount of ultra low radiation dose was not possible. So it has great benefit when it comes to screening. Yeah. I'll show you an example of low radiation lung screening for lung cancer screening, because computed tomography has a growing role when it comes to screening, whether it's a whole body screening, lung cancer screening. Yeah, here you see the CTDI volume of this scan is just 0.55 milligray acquired on a photon counting dual source CT using turbo flash mode. In neurology, as I said, this technology is a quantum leap. Currently, if you want to acquire a high resolution imaging for cardiac scan or neurology, yeah, this is as per the data from 1097 CT scanners across globe, only in 0.9% UHR or ultra high resolution mode is used. Simply the reason is, as you see, it is considered to be inefficient for dose. There is very high radiation dose to the patients. Yeah. However, in a photon counting CT, which will be soon available at Stroke International Services, you can routinely acquire images at 0.2 mm. In all current generation CT scanner, the best of the best CT scanners available can only acquire at 0.6 mm. When it comes to neuroimaging, as you know that 40% of ischemic strokes are because of occlusions in M2 and M3 vessels. And these are the vessels which are really difficult to see in the current generation energy integrating detectors. Only in a photon counting CT, which will be made available by SIS in Vietnam, you can acquire at ultra high resolution imaging, can see microcalcification in ophthalmic region, and also the gray-white matter differentiation has also been improved. I'll show you another example. So it's a carotid MCA stent, and with the diameter of 4 mm with length of 20 mm. If you try to image this kind of stent implant patients on a conventional energy integrating detectors, there are a lot of artifacts, blooming, and you can't see the images. You can't acquire with any CT scanners currently available. This is the image which is acquired on a photon counting CT, high resolution, for stunt follow-up, and there are no, you get pristine image quality. There are no posterior fossa artifacts or no beam hardening artifacts because of no electronics involved in the detector of photon counting CT. Yeah. Another interesting example of neuroimaging, this is a patient with flow diverter. In the past, when we used to do or acquire, we try to acquire these images on a conventional energy integrating detectors. There are a lot of blooming artifacts, you can't have the images. But first time, a photon counting CT, which will be soon there in Stroke International Services, you can acquire these images without artifacts at high resolution, which is 0.2 mm. Also, this is aneurysm imaging, which is smaller than 3 mm diameter with 0.2 mm slice thickness without any artifacts, ultra high resolution imaging without dose penalty, ultra high resolution imaging with same radiation dose, first time made available by a photon counting CT. As I said, this is one of the testimonials that we received, that with photon counting CT, they have optimized the visibility of small size arteries, which in the past were very difficult to visualize or you missed completely when it comes to neuroimaging. Yeah. The other ology that we see a great benefit of photon counting technology, of course, pulmonology, there is a great benefit, musculoskeleton, but I'll be just covering on cardiovascular. Yeah. In cardiovascular, as per the current data available, there are 16% of the patients you cannot scan on a current energy integrating detectors. The simple reason is if the patient has excessive calcification or a calcium score greater than 1000, you straight away reject those patients. Second is if the patient has a very high heart rate, you have to stabilize the heart rate. But SIS has a vision to provide not only the best neuro services, but to give the high-end cardiac imaging also to all kind of patients with the photon counting CT. So in photon counting CT, the difference is, and as per the data available, these 16% of the patients, if treated or can be scanned on a CT scanner, you can straight away make the diagnosis. So what photon counting offers on the left side, this is a pure calcium image, and then this is a pure iodine image. So first time photon counting CT made available visualization of pure lumen. You can virtually remove the calcium and can see the stenosis and the vessel properly, which will be first time exclusively available on a photon counting technology. Yeah. This is a very interesting case. The reason I say an interesting case, because here you see the patient has a calcium score of 1758. As per the guidelines suggest that if a patient has more than 1000 calcium score, you straight away reject the patient because there will be excessive blooming artifacts. You can't scan the patient. And here you see this is acquired on a photon counting CT with 0.2 mm resolution, which is unmatched by any CT scanner of energy integrating detectors. And thanks to the dual source technology, which is there in photon counting, there is a potential to do higher heart rate scanning patients without giving beta blocker to the patient, which is exclusively available in a photon counting CT technology. And I personally see, and there's a great hope from the also that there will be much more complex cases will be done at SIS in terms of neuroimaging, cardio imaging, when this technology will be made available for the patient of the Vietnam. Yeah. Also, if you see, this is an interesting case. This scan is acquired with single heartbeat. Yeah. Single heartbeat acquisition, first time made available on a photon counting dual source technology. And here you see the radiation dose is below 1 millisievert. So usually it is 2 times or 3 times of the radiation dose, and it is really difficult to acquire patient with higher heart rates or with single heartbeat in single source CT scanners. Yeah. And then in the same scan, you have iodine map information. So there is inherent spectral information available with photon counting technology. And that's the future. This is a statement that every CT, so it's a futuristic technology, and we see an early adaptation of this technology in Southeast Asia, thanks to visionary Dr. Kung, who has a vision to have this technology in Southeast Asia for the patient care in Vietnam. And we would really like to congratulate and best wishes for this installation, which will be there soon. Yeah. I would be happy to answer any of your questions, or I'll be here around during tea break also. Feel free to ask questions, or if you have any query, I would be happy to answer right away as well. Thank you very much for your patience listening.